Easter is one of the most important religious holidays in Italy, and it is celebrated with a lot of tradition. Joining us now are Chef Silvio Supa from Cafe Allegre and Woodwinds, Cafe Allegre in Madison and Woodwinds in Branford,
yes,
and historian Anthony Ruccio. It's great to have you with
Thank
us.
You. Nice to be here.
We want to talk a little bit about traditions, first of all, before we get to the food, because we do have a lot of food here to talk about. But food really is central to the tradition. Is that right, Anthony?
Central to the tradition, yes. It's because it gathers people around, and it's all about bringing families together at the table, and that's the bedrock of Italian-American culture.
What are some of the similarities that we have here in the United States and in Italy?
Well, some of these pies that you see here were directly brought over from Italy at the turn of the century, and it's really the kind of pies that most of the immigrants ate right here in New Haven.
And Chef Silvio, tell us a little bit about some of these pies.
Yes. These two over here, this one and the one over there, this is the Easter bread, actually. This one is the colomba, which is more traditional, which colomba means dove, which during the universal flood, God took a dove and put a branch of olive in a beak, and he sent her out to say, go bring peace to the world. So that's why they shape like a dove. So that's a sign of the peace.
It's beautiful.
And that one over there is the same thing, but it's just a shape like regular cake, which is made like more like a home, like like in the
homemade.
Homemade cake.
Mm-hmm. And the other pie is called?
That one there is a pizza di grano. The one over there, which is a wheat pie.
Is that considered a dessert?
Yes, it's sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have pizza again over here, which is, this one here is a little more, it's not sweet, but it's rustic.
It looks like a quiche.
It's almost like quiche. It's stuffed with ham and cheese and, some spice and things like that. So that's more like to eat like either way in the morning or, with a glass of wine or something.
Anthony, you describe this as peasant food. So when you say that, I think of it as comfort food.
Yes, it definitely is. But you have to remember, too, that this comes from a rural tradition because most of the Italian immigrants that came to this country, especially in Connecticut, were really from that rural tradition. So they made do with what they had. And the food is really very simple. It's a simple kind of food, but it's a comfort food. It's good for you. And you eat it in the presence of everyone at a table.
And you talk about what part of, when you're referring to Italy, what part of Italy do most of our Italian immigrants come from?
Well, in New Haven, for example, most of the people came from the Campania, which is the region right below Rome, and many people came from the Amalfi Coast. So people from Amalfi and Atrani, and they brought these dishes with them.
And Chef Silvio, you're from the Amalfi Coast? Is that right?
Not too far from, yeah. A little bit more inland, from province of Benevento.
I hear it's beautiful there.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. It's we have a lot of stuff there.
And the two of you traveled a lot together.
We have.
And you worked together.
We wrote a book together. We went back to his village of Sant'Agata, and we went back and met his relatives, and his aunts gave us wonderful recipes to put in the book.
And one of the recipes is this right here. What is this called?
This one is fettuccine all'uovo, which is a homemade fettuccine made with the eggs. Instead of the regular water, I made it with the eggs. Fettuccine all'uovo, which is a little bit special treat, like if we do it a Sunday or for Easter, for many holidays.
And so how did you make this one?
This one here, just to make, we just roll the flour and the eggs and roll it out, and cut them, and slice them, and make the fettuccine, and then you cook them, and you serve it with the Sunday sauce, which is, it's a sauce, it's made on Sunday, that's why they call Sunday sauce.
That's why it's called Sunday sauce?
Well, it was special, too.
It's a little bit special. It's a bunch of meat, they put in like some pork and some sausage and let it cook for a long time, on Sunday. They go to the church while the sauce is cooking. And then they come home and they put it together, and that's, that's everybody's eating there.
And the grated Parmesan? Is that what you put there?
A little grated Parmesan on top, yeah.
And we want to mention that this recipe, of course, it will be shared with all of our viewers on our website, but it's also in your book.
It's in the book, yes, it's in the book. Most of these recipes in the book, and especially the fettuccine all'uovo, the casadillo, what we call this one here, the casadillo, actually. It's a dialect word for colomba.
Also another...
We have a lamb.
I was going to point that out. That's also a tradition for Easter Sunday?
Yes, it is.
And what is the significance of the lamb? Is there a significance?
Well, the Lamb of God, who comes to save the world, Christ on the cross, giving his life for mankind.
And Chef, how did you put that together, that
Well,
dish?
that one there is crusted. We put a little crust on with the breadcrumb and Dijon mustard. Then we bake it and we slice and we serve with, with mashed potato or whatever, whatever you like, the vegetable.
And that recipe also in your
That's also in the
cookbook?
book.
Yes, it
That's
is.
Okay, hopefully we'll share it as well with our viewers.
Yeah, sure,
Okay?
yeah.
And of course, we want to make sure that everybody calls you on Easter Sunday because you have a lot of things happening.
Yeah,
Cafe
yeah.
Allegre in Madison and Woodwinds in Brantford. You're open for Easter.
Yes.
And from, let's see, from noon to 6, you'll be
Yes.
preparing traditional Easter dishes at Cafe Allegre.
Yes.
And Woodwinds is a buffet
Yeah.
from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You say call for
Right.
reservations.
Right, yes.
Very good. We'll have the phone.
Yeah.
We have the phone numbers right there on the screen, and you have a book signing. Is that correct? Coming up
Tuesday at the North Haven Library at 7 o'clock. We'll give our presentation, our famous presentation, with our photographs that we took together, and we'll be there at 7,
yeah.
North Haven Library.
That's great.
Thank
Thank you both for sharing
you're
all those
welcome.
wonderful stories with us, and
Pleasure.
of course all the fabulous recipes as well. Okay, and again, the phone number for Cafe Allegre in Madison, 203-245-7773. Woodwinds in Brantford, call 203-481-6577. We're going to eat a little bit at the end of the show.
Okay, sure.